evening to everyone. My name is Ipshita Bishoy. I'm a first year student of BSc Psychology in Christ University, Ghaziabad. I'm an intern at Spirituality Health Inner Values Academy. The president of this organization, Mr. Azim Dana, will be here with us shortly. The speaker of today's session on autosuggestion, Ms. Raksha KM, is already here with us. I'd like to take this moment to introduce her to all the participants. Ms. Raksha KM is a spiritual counselor. She is a meditation practitioner. She is also a yoga practitioner. She is an engineer too. She conducts storytelling sessions for children and conducts sessions on yoga practice as well. So, with this, I would like to hand over the session to Ms. Raksha. Thank you.
Thank you, dear Ipshita. And I would like to thank Spirituality Health in the Values Academy for giving me this opportunity to be here. And I would also like to thank all of you wonderful participants for taking out the time to listen to this session on auto suggestions. And I would also like to thank my family for supporting me. So yeah, so thank you once again, and let us start this session. So I'll be sharing my screen now. Yes. So laws of suggestion. So let us start with what is a thought and what is the power of a thought. We have all heard of Sankalp Srishti. We all know the power of thought. How does thought gets its power? It gets the power when it is fueled by a focused mind. George Bernard Shaw said, imagination is the beginning of creation. When thought is fueled by a focused mind, it becomes an intention. And thus it becomes very powerful. And so, this way, a thought or imagination creates reality. We have seen hundreds of examples in history where a thought has led to so many inventions, right from a wheel to invention of the number zero, invention of aeroplanes, telephones, mobiles, computers. We have hundreds of examples. Also, we have classic pieces of art and music which have also been created because of the power of imagination or thought. Now let us come to suggestion. What is a suggestion? Suggestion is a process by which a person guides another person's thoughts or feelings or behavior. So there are two people here. One is the subject and the other is the operator. The operator is giving the suggestions to the subject and the subject is receiving these suggestions. Then there is something called as autosuggestion. Autosuggestion is a self-induced suggestion in which individuals guide their own thoughts, feelings, or behavior. Emile Coeur was a French psychologist who introduced this method in psychotherapy for the first time. This was the method of self-improvement based on optimistic autosuggestions. So he had a school called as a Nancy School, which was a suggestion school and thousands of people all over, from all over, came to him. They were attracted to him like a magnet. They came to him to get cured, to get healed out of diseases and their problems. They saw him as a healer, but he told that he believed that he was just a facilitator who just facilitated this. And he said that it was all because of the power of autosuggestion. It was the power of their own thoughts that brought the cure or the healing. So, what are the benefits of autosuggestion? Autosuggestions can be used to form new habits, build new beliefs. They can be used for healing and replacing faulty beliefs. For me, I would like to like to relate to autosuggestions as something like growing a plant, and that is why you see this picture. Now imagine a farmer who's growing a crop. What are three important things that a farmer needs to grow a crop? I asked my kid today, and he said three things: land, to be more specific, the quality of the land, seeds, and then nourishment like sunlight, water. So these are the three things. Similarly, even a suggestion has some of these. For a suggestion to be a very good, effective suggestion, we have some requirements like this, which we will see in our subsequent slides. Now, have I experienced the power of autosuggestion or suggestion? Yes, I have. I'll give you a very personal example here. Example of my sister. So, my sister, this was about 18 years back. My sister was studying, and our family was going through some difficult times, financial crisis. My sister was at the rock bottom of her life. She was self funding her education. She wanted to become a CA, and she got hundreds of comments. She was told, "Why are you wasting your time on this? Why don't you go and do a job, work somewhere instead of doing your CA?" She was already working. She was giving tuitions. So it was very difficult because she was hearing these different suggestions coming, negative suggestions coming to her. And that was the time she found a mentor. This person was respected, and he was guiding people. So he had guided a few of her friends' families, and he did not charge any money. So she also went for this to this meet this person, and this person wrote an auto suggestion. He discussed with her and he wrote an suggestion. We didn't know at that time that it was a auto suggestion, and she had to practice, repeat it every day loudly for about 10 times, and she had to visualize it, and she did it for about 6 months to 1 year. And after that, subsequently, she has become an MCOM. She did her ICWA, and she also did her CA. So this is a very personal example. So you can see the power of 1,000 negative thoughts and one powerful positive thought which was suggested again and again for continuous period. So this was just what I wanted to share with you. So the next thing, moving ahead, is let us understand how do autosuggestions work. So the first thing is the land, as we saw. So when a farmer is growing a crop, if he has one land that is a barren land and another piece of land which is a fertile land, what do you think? Which land will yield better crops? Undoubtedly, it will be the fertile land. Same is the case with human beings. The fertility of the land is analogous to suggestibility. What is suggestibility? When a person is suggestible, is open to others' suggestions, is open to new information, and the person is open to listening to new ideas, even if they are going completely against what he believes in. So this is called as a suggestible person or a receptive person. One example of suggestibility. Say you are leaving your house and the person who's living with you tells you to take an umbrella. A highly suggestible person will go immediately and pick up the umbrella and leave the house. And the other person will come to the window, look outside the window to see if it is raining or not. And then the person will go and maybe pick up the umbrella if required. So this person is also under the influence of suggestion. That is why he has gone to the window and taken action on that suggestion. A completely non suggestible person will not take the umbrella. He will not listen to the other person. He will go outside the house, and then if he sees that it is raining, then he may return back to take an umbrella because he decided to do it on his own. So, is suggestibility good or bad? It may be either way, depending on the situation. For example, if a person is very suggestible, then the person may absorb some of the false suggestions or fixed suggestions, undesirable suggestions. So, in that case, it is not so good. For example, if someone in the family has died of cancer, and the person, if a young person starts thinking, oh, this is hereditary, so even I may get it, and slowly he may start imagining some of these symptoms inside him. And then slowly, because of this repeated imagination or false belief, false autosuggestion, these symptoms may actually end up into a disease. Or if there is someone who is very suggestible and another person in the house or your family or your friend circle says, you are useless, you are slow, your ideas never work, you're not capable of this. So then a highly suggestible person may absorb these ideas and start believing another person's ideas, which are false. So, being extremely suggestible is sometimes not so good, but it is a very good idea to train our minds to be suggestible. Now, how does one become more suggestible? Emil Q said that there's a big play between will and imagination, that is, between the conscious mind and the subconscious mind. They stand against each other. And in this game between these two, there's one clear winner, and that is the imagination. So, to give a good auto suggestion, it is important to reduce the interference of the will or the conscious mind. This is the way we can increase the suggestibility of the person. So, in hypnosis, the operator leads you slowly to an induced receptive state. He does this by taking you slowly into an altered state of consciousness where your suggestibility increases. Now, how does a therapist do this? A therapist may do it by overloading the conscious mind with messages. For example, we have been through some of these relaxation sessions where we are asked by the operator to imagine a garden, that you're walking towards a garden. So, what is the operator doing? He tells you go right, then go left, then climb 20 steps. This way, the conscious mind is getting overloaded with instructions, and so it will reduce its guard, reduce the thoughts, and slowly uh, the operator gains access to your subconscious mind. In this process, there is increased attention because the subject is still listening to the operator. The therapist may do this by narrowing the focus of your mind to a visual, like a garden, or to an auditory message, by suppressing all other sensory inputs. Once you are in this receptive state, autosuggestion is given, and the suggestion given at this time will get absorbed by the subject, just as water is absorbed by a sponge. Friends, we slip into these kind of hypnosis like states many times during the day. This is called as waking hypnosis. For example, when you're glued to a TV, you're very attentive, but your subconscious mind is not so active. It is quiet. In that highly suggestible state, you see a commercial of masala chips and you start feeling very hungry. You start craving for it, isn't it? That is it is why it is because when you are so highly suggestible, the commercial has given an autosuggestion to your mind and your mind has absorbed it. Sometimes when you're daydreaming about something, again, similar process of hypnosis happens and your attention is away from other sensory inputs, focused on that one object on which you're daydreaming. Suggestibility also happens when you're very open or vulnerable. For example, if you have been upset about something, and when someone says something to you, something bad to you, you overreact. So, this is because you were very suggestible and you took that suggestion personally. In my sister's example, she was very suggestible at that time when she received those auto suggestions. She was in a vulnerable state where she wanted to get out of her crisis. She was looking for something that could take her out of her crisis. That is why, in that suggestible state, when she practiced those auto suggestions, she was able to, it worked on her very effectively. Now, having seen what is suggestibility and how the farmer needs a very fertile land, now let's go to the next step. Now, after having a fertile land, what does the farmer need? The farmer needs good seeds, good quality seeds. Similarly, we also plant seeds in our mind, which are suggestions. So the first step is for the farmer to decide and identify what seeds he wants to plant. And similarly, we need to identify what are those suggestions that we want to give to ourselves. Some can be about forming new habits. Suggestions can be about getting rid of some old habits, bad habits. Suggestions can be about healing. They can be about affirmations, some positive thoughts. Now let's see how we can design our auto suggestions. Auto suggestions need to be believable. They need to be achievable. Only when you start believing in it can you achieve it. Auto suggestions should always begin with present tense. So instead of saying I will, we begin our sentence with I am. Emotions should be added to auto suggestions because when they become meaningful to you, only then they will become more effective to you. We must always build our auto suggestion with the help of positive sentences. We must avoid negative words. We must not impose time limits because then your mind gets pressurized. So let's take an example. Someone wants to lose weight. So we must not say, I want to lose weight of 15 kgs. Now, what's the problem with a sentence like this? I want to lose weight of 15 kgs. Let's see. I want. This implies that it is in the future. And we have seen that we must use present tense. So, second thing, to lose, it shows a lot of efforts. That means a lot of efforts are required to achieve this goal. So it becomes difficult to achieve. And we have seen that our suggestion should be achievable, it should be believable. The third thing is I want to lose weight. It shows, again, it is reinforcing poor health. So instead of this, what can we do? How can we frame this auto suggestion? In this case, we can put it like this: I am exercising to release weight and I feel perfectly healthy. I repeat, I am exercising to release weight and I feel perfectly healthy. And how is this suggestion better to the other? I am is present tense. Release, this shows less efforts. Lose shows more efforts required, whereas release shows less efforts required. I am feeling perfect health. This is now a positive statement. So, in this way, this example of autosuggestion becomes a positive statement. Now, let us see how can we give our autosuggestions. Once the autosuggestion is framed, created, how can we give it to ourselves? We can give autosuggestion in different ways. We can give it during meditation, during sleep. We can give it using visualization, and we can also write it down. So, how can we give it during meditation? The advantage of meditation is we enter a relaxed state. The mind is open. The environment around us, the atmosphere is comfortable, quiet, no disturbance. You can switch on music to relax. Place your feet on the ground. so that you're comfortable. Detach from your thoughts. If you have any thoughts, acknowledge them, but don't participate in them. And then, once having this, attained this relaxed state, repeat your autosuggestion at least 10 times. The entire meditation practice can be about 20 to 30 minutes so that your mind has enough time to absorb it. Second method, we can give an autosuggestion during sleep. For this, you can record your autosuggestion and you can put it on repeat mode. Your voice must be gentle yet commanding. And since you are commanding yourself, you can say the autosuggestion in second person. Each affirmation must be repeated 10 times at least. And the recording can be for at least 30 minutes. You can have maximum 2 to 3 autosuggestions in one recording. And to keep listening to this while you fall asleep. And this way, the autosuggestion gets absorbed in your unconscious mind. You do this for continuous 14 nights so that it is absorbed well in your mind. The third technique is using visualization. So, before going to sleep, you can do this. Relax yourself. Close your eyes. Repeat and visualize yourself experiencing the autosuggestion. Attach emotion into your visualization so that it becomes meaningful to you. Have vivid images. Involve every sense. See, feel, hear, smell, touch that scene, whatever you're creating. Attach a feeling of happiness, success. Feel confident. You may also attach action like body movement, gestures. So you're practicing an autosuggestion to become a public speaker. Then you have so many gestures that you can practice. So repeat this visualization 2 to 3 times a day. Repetition is the key. The last one is writing. So when you're doing this, take a piece of paper, list down whatever you want to change, whatever bad habits that you want to change, write down. And for a few days, be aware of the negative self talk that is happening inside you. Write all of them down on a piece of paper. Having done that, now on the other side of the paper, rewrite all the negative statements into positive statements. Use powerful words. Now fold this paper and stick it somewhere where you can see it again and again, like on a refrigerator, a mirror, a writing desk, wherever you can. See it every day. Do not see, do not refer to the negative side. It is gone. And slowly, with these techniques of autosuggestion, you will see the positive changes happening in your life. Last, we will see what are the laws of suggestion. So, this is like the nourishment given by the farmer to his crops. So once the fertile land is there, he has selected good seeds, he has planted them. Now it is time for nourishment. So he has to daily water them, and the seeds have to receive sunlight daily. That is when they will grow into good crops, isn't it? Similarly, the suggestion needs to be given in a right way for it to be absorbed in our minds. So, what are those techniques of the laws of suggestion? What are the laws of suggestion? Let us see one by one. Law of concentrated attention. What does this mean? This means whenever attention is concentrated on an idea over and over again, it spontaneously tends to realize itself. For example, when I say, I have in myself the instrument of my cure, I have in myself the instrument of my cure. This means that the cure is inside me. This is an example for law of concentrated attention. I'm concentrating and telling that the cure is inside me. The second law, law of reversed effect. This says that the harder we try to do something, the less chance we have to succeed in it. The harder we try to do something, the less chance we have to succeed in it. Haven't we all experienced this? Whenever we try to recall someone's name, which is at the tip of our tongue, for some reason, it becomes a very difficult task sometimes. One more example is this is also a personal example. Someone is trying to control his laughter. How the more he tries to control his or her laughter, the difficult it becomes for him to do so. I have experienced this with my principal. So many of you are students here. I'm sure you guys must be having similar experiences also. One more example is insomnia. The person who has an insomnia, the poor fellow, the more and more he tries to fall asleep, the more and more he tosses and turns. So, whatever we resist always persists. This is the law of reversed effect. Now, the third law, the law of dominant effect. It is based on the saying that a strong emotion tends to replace a weaker one. Attaching a strong emotion to a suggestion tends to make the suggestion more effective. For example, when a child slams the door and hurts his finger, his mother says, Baby, I'll just kiss your finger and all the pain will go away. And the child actually feels all the pain going away as soon as his mother kisses his hand. Suggestions of relaxation can also be increased by massage or gentle stroking. This is also an example of the law of dominant effect. Now, the fourth law, the law of delayed action. It suggests that the suggestion may not take place immediately, may not take effect immediately, but whenever the situation that the suggestion is meant to overcome arises or it presents itself, it is at that time that this suggestion works. For example, for the kid who is having a fear of going for exam, the mother says to him, tomorrow you will go for exam, you will relax nicely, say a small prayer, and then you will remember all the answers easily. So this suggestion is given to the kid by the mother one day before or many days before. And as soon as the child goes for the exam, sits, he remembers the suggestion and exactly the same thing starts happening. The child relaxes and says a small prayer and starts to remember all the answers very easily. This is the law of delayed action. Now, the law of repetition. This states that repeating a behavior makes it more powerful. Every suggestion acted upon creates less opposition to successive suggestions. As a man thinks, so is he. This is very powerful. This is the reason why we as students had to repeat our maths table, formulae, spellings, definitions again and again to reinforce it in our minds. So, in school also, we see that the teacher tells the child, I expect you to always be polite to everyone, to be obedient to your parents and teachers. Why does the teacher tell this every day at the beginning of the class? So that the child absorbs it. And we all know that young children are very suggestible. Below the age of 8, they absorb things. They are just once again like sponge absorbing water. So the sanskaras and the upbringing, the good habits that we inculcate in them at this young age is very effective because they are all taking it without any resistance. The last one is the law of association. When we repeatedly respond to stimulus in presence of another, we begin to associate one with the other. I repeat, when we repeatedly respond to stimulus in presence of another, we begin to associate one with the other. Whenever one is present, the other is recalled. For example, whenever we say thunder, what comes to our mind? Naturally, lightning comes to our mind, isn't it? So, this is the law of association. One example of autosuggestion would be saying, whenever I exercise, I feel very healthy. So, when I do this again and again, I associate exercise with good health. That is what keeps me motivated. So, these were the 6 laws of autosuggestion. Now, friends, are you all ready for an autosuggestion quiz? Can we have some yes and no's?
Yeah, please go ahead.
Okay. So, so what you have to do is, whatever the autosuggestion that you see here, you have to tell which law has been used here. So I will repeat the laws of the 6 laws. The 6 laws were law of repetition, law of reversed effect, law of association, law of concentrated action, law of delayed action, law of dominant effect. So let us go ahead with the quiz. This this was a phrase or a quote which Emil Cure, the father of autosuggestions, has given. Every day, in every way, I'm getting better and better. Can someone tell which law has been used here?
Sister, this is a law
Is it
of
repeat
repetition.
action?
Yes. Who was that?
Me, Sunil Shrivastava.
Okay. Very nice. That was perfect answer, and I think someone else also said that. So, nice, very nice. That was the right answer. Now let's go to the next one. I am answering all questions confidently while giving my interview. So, an interviewer, a person is going for an interview and he's saying to himself, I am answering all questions confidently while giving my interview.
Concentrated action.
Concentrated action. Okay. Yeah, that can be one of the answers. But can you think of a law which
Law
is,
of dominance? Sister, is it law of dominance?
yeah, that is also, that also fits here. But there is one law which is only applicable to this kind of a scenario. You can look at the other laws. I'll just show you all the laws. So yeah, out of this, there is one law which is only uh, used in this kind of a scenario. The interviewer is going for an interview and he's saying this auto suggestion.
The law of delayed action?
Yeah, what was that? I can't see your.
Sister, yeah, Sister Raksha, Om Shanti, this is Kanchan.
Okay, yeah, Sister Kanchan, that was the right answer. Means that was what I had thought. Because this suggestion is given beforehand, and it only starts showing itself when you are in that situation. So this is a
Right,
law of
right.
delayed action. Next, when we have family dinner conversations, it is very much fun. We have family dinner conversations, it's a lot of fun.
Law
So
of reverse action?
no, it
No.
because there is nothing reverse about it. Because I hope when we think that the law family dinner conversations are fun, it will actually be fun. So what is this? We
Delayed
see this a
action.
lot of. Yeah, Sunil ji.
This is law of delayed action.
No, because we are this is not a
You were
example.
saying when we have family dinner, when we have means it is a delayed action. There is no certainty. There is no fixed time. So maybe it's delayed
Okay.
action.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Okay. It can be a law of delayed action. There is one. Okay, I'll frame it in another way. We see this a lot of times happening in our advertisements. We see that there is a
Law of
person who's opening a
dominance.
Pepsi can or a Coca-Cola can, and they feel that it's a lot of fun.
Law of association.
Absolutely right, Avantika, sister Avantika. Yeah, it is law of association, because I think I've not framed the sentence properly. So thank you for that, Sunilji. Family dinner conversations are fun. It should have been like this. So yeah, it is example of law of association, because we associate with fun. That is how we are motivated to have more dinner conversations. That is how these advertisements sell. They show that whenever you are having a celebration, you have to bring either you have to bring a big family pack of this chocolates, Cadbury, or you have to have some Coca-Cola or Pepsi to have fun. So they are associating your happiness with their products. That's how they are selling so much. Next one. The more I try to sleep, the more difficult I find to sleep.
Law of reverse.
Yeah, it's law of reverse action. So whenever we try so hard, then it becomes very difficult for us to achieve it. I know inside me all the solutions and answers to this situation.
Law of concentrated efforts.
Absolutely right, Sunilji. It is that because I'm concentrating, I'm looking for solutions inside myself. So when I do that with concentration, I tend to find all the answers and solutions to the situations that I am in. So that was the right answer. Okay, now once again, you guys have to think. After eating lunch, I will engage in the enjoyable behavior of going for a walk instead of lighting up. This is being said by a cigarette smoker. So he's telling himself, after eating lunch, I will engage in the enjoyable behavior of going for a walk instead of lighting up.
I guess again it's a law of delayed action.
Yes, that's the right answer because he's telling himself, and whenever he will go for lunch, after eating lunch, this auto suggestion will come up and then he will take action. So that is the law of delayed action. I practice the keyboard daily and I'm getting better and better at it.
Law of repetition.
That's perfect answer, Avantika. This is actually what is I'm practicing this with my son. So this is what we are seeing that it helps. As I put my worries in a balloon, they fly away. As I put my worries in a balloon, they fly away. So you guys have to think for this. This is the last one. Any thoughts?
I think you should show us the all the six law of all the six
Okay.
name of the laws.
It's just an NLP technique only.
Yeah.
As I put my worries in a balloon, they fly away. So as you tell the
The law
child,
of
right?
Ashish.
dominance. The law of dominance, is it?
Right, right. Who was that? Law of dominance?
Avantika.
Yeah, that's the right answer. So this again is actually what I've used with my son, and
So,
he
so
had this
so
habit.
so any gift that you are going to give us on
Sure,
the
sure, sure. Once after this, Azim sir will
since
have
it is a
to
quiz.
call us all in one place, and we will do the gift distribution at that time.
No, normally what happen when somebody so we get some kind of gift after um, answering the right answer.
Yes, I have a bag full of chocolates and balloons
That's
here.
very good.
So whenever we meet, we will.
So
It was really great fun.
enjoy the gift that you were supposed to give it to us. Thank you.
Definitely, definitely. I think so. This is the last one, I guess. I'm not sure. So yeah, this was. I'll just tell you one personal thing here. When I did this with my son, he was having this nail biting habit, and I've told this earlier also. I think so. My son's habit actually it has stopped completely because in the night he used to be scared. It was fear actually. So I used to tell him to put all his fears in the balloon and they are gone away. So he used to be scared of lion, tiger in the night. He was very small at that time and he used to say that it is flying away. It's actually worked in my house. So last one, I think. Okay, I always have everything I need to be happy.
Again, is it law of dominance?
Dominance. Yeah, maybe you can say that also. I was thinking about law of reversed action, where the more satisfaction I show that I have, the more the universe or you know, it gives me something like that. So, but yeah, you can say of dominant action also, dominant effect also. Thank you all for participating in this wonderfully in this quiz. So yeah, thank you all so much. That's all from my end. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Raksha ma'am.
Quite
If anybody has any questions,
Thank you, Sister Raksha. It was a nice, informative session.
Thank you, Sister
Thank you.
Kanchan.
Thank you, Sister Riksha. It was quite interesting actually, and yes, full of knowledge. Definitely, but the presentation